Hello, everybody. My name is Irina, and I've been diagnosed with a rare type of lymphoma, which calls gray zone lymphoma. That's, you can't even say it's a type because it's kind of in between two types. That's why it's called gray zone. It has strong characteristics of two types, classical Hodgkin's lymphoma and non-Hodgkin's large B-cell lymphoma. So it's kind of in between. The purpose of this channel is to, well, first of all, I want to inform my friends and my family who are all around the world of what's going on with me, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I have a strong faith in God. But also, if somebody watches these videos, doesn't know me, and maybe you're just looking up for gray zone lymphoma or the regimen that I'm going to take, the medicine I'm going to take. I couldn't find much information online about that because it's a rare type. So I hope to be source of information with my journey and encourage somebody, hopefully, no matter what you go through, and invite you to go through my journey with me. I don't want to have long videos. I'm going to try to keep it with 10-12 minutes limit. Nobody want to hear me talking for an hour. So just this video is my first video just to tell you the my bumpy journey to being diagnosed, and tomorrow I have my first treatment finally. So it started, I guess, sometime in spring 2021. I started having very uncomfortable feeling underneath my left arm, kind of, to the point I had to put like small pillow to watch TV or to read because it was just uncomfortable. The doctors or mammogram wouldn't show anything. Kind of looked swollen, but not. I didn't know if it's my mind playing with me, that I'm just going crazy, surprise. So I kind of used to it. Then I started having some dull pains over here. Again, pulled muscle probably, just pop Tylenol, Advil, keep on going, busy life, work, home, you know, different events going on, you know how it is. So then in the beginning of December, I started having sharp pains over here, like would take my breath away. Very short ones, but strong. So that time my husband's like, no, we're going to go check your heart. And of course I argued with him that it's nothing, I can live with it, it's okay, I probably need to exercise more, because at this point I start noticing it's hard for me to catch my breath when I go even one flight of stairs. Another thing has started happening is the veins on my left side over here start really showing. You can't see it really, but I have like a river here, blue river here, and then nothing on my right side, which was weird, but still nothing that I cannot leave, you know, something alarming. It was, oh well, whatever, getting older, right? I'm 47. So then he insisted we went to urgent care. They did EKG, they did X-ray, couldn't find anything. And I was like, I told you so, I'm fine. My heart is fine, it's just stress, it's gonna go away. But the next morning, radiologist called me and said that your heart is fine, but I see some kind of enlarged lymph nodes, you know, in the middle. So just go check, go do CAT scan with contrast. Could be probably nothing, but could be virus of cold, common cold. I'm like, okay, winter break was coming. I'm a teacher in school. So I'm like, let's go ahead and do it. So December 17th, I did a CAT scan, and that's when the result came. I have a bulky mediastinal, sometimes a semi-mediastinal mass in my chest, anterior, which means it's closer to the front. And so basically at this point, I'm just like, what to do with diagnosis like that. So I want to interrupt my story and say that please, please, please don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore even little signs in your body, no matter how busy you are, especially when you're getting older. But even if you're young, just don't ignore it, because look at me. I was just fine. If my husband didn't insist, I would be still running around, probably trying to exercise and breathing heavy, taking more painkillers and keep on going, you know. Don't ignore the signs in your body. So back to my story very quickly. It wasn't quick for me, trust me, until this point, and today is March 6th already. So I called, recommended cancer center, very good reputation, one of the best in the country. But I guess because they're so big, they were kind of slow for me, because of course I'm anxious at this point. And they were dealing with insurance, checking insurance, but it was too long. So I called one of my friends. She works in a big hospital here where I live, and bless her heart, she was so wonderful. She took heart in helping me, and she pushed me through. I met the surgeon. He said, I want sugar-coated, and which I really appreciated. And he said, it's most likely lymphoma. Let's do biopsy, let's do PET scan. Done all that, beginning of January. The result, I did a biopsy, needle biopsy in my lymph node, because my lymph nodes on my neck been very large. So they just did a very simple biopsy. And it came that it is lymphoma, but here where it started, they couldn't figure out characteristics of both very strong. They send my results for a second opinion. Meanwhile, I'm meeting with oncologists there. Perfect. Love the oncologist, love the hospital. Got the same day scheduled several tests before start chemo. Basically, they were leaning more toward classical Hodgkin's lymphoma. So that's the chemo kind of like was toward that, but waiting for the second opinion results. Got scheduled my heart test, my lung test, port installed. Port is a little, I have it installed. That time I didn't yet, but it's like, I don't know if you can see, it's a little bump right now to my skin, but it's a little apparatus that through which the chemo going to be done, and it's a tube that goes into my vein over here. So got everything scheduled. Next day they call me and say, sorry, we cannot do anything for you. Our oncology department in this hospital doesn't accept your insurance. What? The whole hospital accepts my insurance. I've done a couple surgeries there before, and all this stuff. That was mind-blowing. I had my tantrum. I was crying. I was praying. Was very upset. My husband came, bless his heart, and again, he's like, as wise as he is, he's like, you know what, I think God is telling you that it's not your doctor. I'm like, okay, but what am I going to do with that? I'm back to 0.0 with that. Anyway, long story short, I had several appointments with different oncology centers. Had to schedule, go and make sure I have a connection with the doctor. The one that I started a while ago, insurance process, they gave me oncologist, and they gave me the date on February 25th, which is on February 14th, felt like forever. So I looked up to a couple more hospitals, and I chose a small center, and they scheduled very quickly the tests for me, and I started doing those tests already. And I was back and forward with this appointment in the big hospital, in big center. I was like, should I go? Shouldn't I go? So like, I was tired. I was really tired. So I was like, you know what? Let me just stick with this one. But it was something in me not calling them and canceling an appointment. Then I got a message from the first oncologist where my insurance wasn't accepted. And he said he still feels bad for my situation and stuff. And he wants me to contact this oncologist in this center who is a lymphoma specialist. And he said, go ahead and contact her. She's great. I worked with her before, blah, blah, blah. And what do you know? That's the oncologist that they signed me on February 25th, that the appointment that I was debating to cancel. So, of course, I didn't cancel. Then I got some encouragement about this center from some parent in my school. Thank you so much. So I didn't cancel it. I went there and I clicked with the oncologist, with the center, and I stuck with them. My treatment was scheduled. Then it was rescheduled and rescheduled and rescheduled. I believe it's my fourth time attempt to do treatment. She scheduled my treatment. Then she said, you know what, we need to do second biopsy. I'm not happy with the results. So second biopsy I did on February 15th, which is, I'm sorry, I said before February. It was all in January before. January 25th, I met with my doctor. February 15th, after 2 times reschedule my treatment, February 15th, I had a biopsy, needle biopsy, but into my chest in the main tumor. Again, came inconclusive. So again, they rescheduled my treatment, and now I'm facing third biopsy, which is the last biopsy they can do, surgical, where they open my chest and they just take a chunk of it. And then I got a call last Wednesday from my oncologist, and she said she presented my case to other lymphoma specialists, and they decided that I shouldn't do third biopsy. It's going to come back inconclusive and putting me under the knife, and then waiting for results and healing. It's, you know, forget it. So she said we're just going to treat it as gray zone lymphoma, and the treatment that I supposed to have in the first hospital, in the other small hospital, even in this hospital, forget it. So hence, wasn't my hospitals, wasn't my doctors. This is the one. Thank you, Lord. So now the medicine that I'm going to get, the regimen is going to be changed. The schedule is going to be different, which I'll tell you in the next video. And then they couldn't use my port, so that's just installed for nothing, for make it pretty. I had to install PICC line. PICC line is the tube that goes, part of it is hanging, that's where they're gonna do chemo and blood tests, and part of it's in me going to my main artery, I'm assuming. I have to keep it clean. I can't get it wet. I get used to it. So basically tomorrow, Monday, March 7th, I'm starting my therapy, and I will let you know a little bit tomorrow about the regimen I'm gonna have, which is also not that often used because it's a rare type, and go step by step how I feel with each, you know, with each cycle. And also spiritually and emotionally. You know, people tell me that I'm strong, that I'm positive. I want you to know that it is God's strength and God's, you know, grace that keeps me going. If it was just me, I would fall apart after this bumpy journey. We had some other things with insurance, a lot of bumps with insurance. But all good. Thank you, Lord. And I'll see you soon. Ciao. Bye.